It is Better Country 1017 The Bull. Good to be hanging out with you here this morning, and good to be joined by a very special guest. Joining us now, a man that'll be taking the stage Saturday night at the Tri-State Rodeo in Fort Madison. Maybe you've heard of him, maybe on TikTok, maybe you've heard of him right here on 1017 The Bull. His song Pretty Little Poison, a two-time platinum, the second most played song on country radio. Warren Zeiders joining us here on 1017 The Bull. Warren, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. That was one heck of an intro. I appreciate it.
Well, hey, I appreciate that as well. Warren, let's get into things here. You're a Pennsylvania kid. You studied business at Frostburg State in Maryland. Where did your love for music, though, come? Was it always just there behind the scenes, or was it maybe something that you discovered a little later on in life?
I would say that my love for music really began in the church. That's kind of where I found that I best connected with my faith personally, and where I kind of found my voice. And I just looking back now, I can say that the good Lord was always touching on my heart, that there was something to do with music that I was meant to do. And I had no idea until COVID had hit, and here we are now, 4 years later, after coming to Nashville for the first time, and I think I made the right decision of pursuing it.
I think you did too, man. It's turned into a great career for you. Obviously, those accolades on that song a couple years back with Pretty Little Poison. I'll get to that in just a second. But I think it was during your college days where you started posting stuff on TikTok, and that's really where you kind of took off. How much credit do you give TikTok to starting your career, and how big of an impact do you feel like it is having or will have in the country music industry in years to come?
I think it was both predominantly TikTok and Instagram for me. And I think that TikTok is just like any other platform. It is a great marketing tool, and it's a great just way of getting exposure. There's people that have had success on YouTube, and that's how they've been recognized. Or rappers have been known for being recognized on SoundCloud. So I think that it's just it's a newer form of marketing and a newer tool for artists like myself and others to be exposed and to build a fan base and build a platform. And so I give it a lot of credit.
Well, and I was talking with a coworker here before we had you on here. It kind of takes out that middleman, which certainly did help out. As I mentioned in the intro, your song Pretty Little Poison, a massive success, two-time platinum, and also the second most played song on country radio. When you were writing and putting that song together in particular, did you have any idea it was going to be as big of a hit for you as it was? And what was kind of the reaction when that song started taking off for you?
I think I'll tell you this. I don't know if I knew it was going to be this big, but I remember the day that I wrote it, and this is right hand up to God, that I knew that song was a hit. Because when I got done writing the song, I'd gotten back to my house that evening, and first thing I did was send it to my manager, my team, showed it to my family, and I was like, this is the one. I don't know when we're releasing this or when I start to show someone this song, but I was sitting on that song for a second, but I knew I knew for a fact it was a hit. So it feels good to be right.
Yeah, it certainly does. We're talking with Warren Zeiders here on 1017 The Bull. Of course, he's going to be at the Tri-State Rodeo here Saturday night. Looking forward to having him there. And, of course, last year was a very big year for you, not only with the song Pretty Little Poison. You even got invited to do a song on the Twisters soundtrack. What's it like having a song with your name tied to it on a top 10 domestic movie of 2024?
Again, super surreal and just super grateful, growing up watching the original Twisters. That's a movie I've seen time and time again. So I think it was super cool to have the opportunity and get the phone call that they had interest in having me be a part of that. And going to see that with my family in theaters for the first time with my mom and dad and my younger sister, that was such a wholesome moment to share with my family, to go see that for the first time and hear my song in the movie.
Well, not only did you have that, you had the big hit there with Pretty Little Poison, but I mean, you released an album in 2024, and then you also went on tour with a little guy by the name of Jelly Roll. What was it like being on the road with him? What kind of person is he behind the scenes, and what was that tour just like for you as a whole?
I'll admit that tour was a lot, and it was a beautiful thing. It was just a lot to get used to, considering I always like to say that, how Jelly and his crew roll is they kind of go out and they tour more like a rock band where they're gone for numerous months at a time, rather than the Nashville thing where it's very much so like Weekend Warrior. So we were gone for about 2 months out on the road, and I had the opportunity to play 40 shows and be direct support with Jelly Roll. And, shout out to him. I was really appreciative of the opportunity to go do that and play in front of massive crowds night after night and expose people to my music and my name and my brand and put on a great performance to get the crowd ready for him. So it was super cool, and it's awesome to see, personally from a guy who loves fitness and working out, to see how he's continued on his journey with losing weight and taking that seriously. So I'm proud of him, and I was really, really grateful for the opportunity.
Warren Zeiders joining us here on 101.7 The Bull. A couple more questions for you here, Warren. Your career has obviously taken you with that tour with Jelly Roll, taking you to a lot of great venues, a lot of great arenas across the country. Is there a certain performance, or is there an arena or a venue that really stuck out above the rest, one that you're just going to remember for the rest of time?
Oh, man. Most recently, I would have to say one that stuck out the most this year was probably the Houston Rodeo. When I got the phone call to do that and headline that in front of 65,000 people, that was a very much so pinch me moment to take that stage. Super overwhelming, but, we always show up and we always get her done, but that was such a cool experience to have with my team and with my family, and honestly, just to put on a great performance for my fans. But if I had to tell you this one right now while we're talking, I'm excited for the show coming up. How about that one?
Hey, man, let's talk about the coming up here on Saturday, the Tri-State Rodeo in Fort Madison. We can't wait to have you here. Folks, I know that there's a lot of buzz around this show. What can folks expect when they go see you there on Saturday night?
Well, my show is definitely, I like to say my show has a great flow where I kind of treat my show like different acts. So it's you got high octane parts of the show, but then obviously you have super sentimental and ballad-esque moments with songs like Pretty Little Poison and some stuff off of my new record that I just dropped. And I'm actually playing a newer one of my songs. There'll be a new song in the set. It's not released yet, but I started teasing on social media.
Ooh.
And that song's coming out momentarily, so fans will be able to hear an unreleased song, which is cool.
Hey, man, that is pretty exciting stuff. We can't wait to have you here, Warren Zeiders. It's been fun watching your rise, and I know there are bigger and better things coming for you here. So keep up the great work, and thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us here. And we'll see you at the rodeo, man.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for your time, man. I'll see you soon. Okay.